can't take this crowding anymore. People, it's time for a vacation.
Vacation!
A what?
Yes, vacation!
That's right. You can't even find a parking space around here. Enough is enough.
Enough!
You know what we need? Time off. Rest and relaxation. That's what we need. A place with no people. A place where we can be alone.
Like where, Dad?
Don't worry about it. We'll find someplace nice. I read an article about this. People should get out more. Take time off. Live for the moment. That's what we need to do.
That's not a bad idea. Go sit by a pool somewhere or maybe lay on a beach. Is that what you have in mind?
Around here? Not a chance. We're going to go to another planet where we can spend some time alone.
Alone.
Computer, activate the travel agent software. We're in the market for an extended vacation.
Welcome to Galaxy Travel. How may I help you today?
We're in the market for a long vacation. Someplace nice. A planet where we can relax and enjoy life, and most of all, a planet with no neighbors.
Of course, I understand. There's a charming little solar system not far from here. It has several planets available that you may find of interest. If you will permit me to navigate, I can have us there in no time at all. Now then, this solar system features 8 planets in a variety of configurations. I have no doubt that at least one of them will prove to be satisfactory.
Is this it?
Yes, sir. The central star of this system is called the Sun.
The sun. Not very imaginative, is it?
Well, not really, no. We are just now approaching the outermost regions of this system.
What is that?
The object before you, ma'am, is one of this solar system's comets.
One? You mean there are more of them?
Oh, yes, sir. There are billions of them in the outer regions of this solar system.
That looks so cool. And it's not even round. What's it made of?
The comet's rather odd shape is entirely natural, miss. Comets just don't have enough gravity to pull themselves into spheres. They're a mixture of ice, small bits of rock, and dust.
Well, I think they're very unattractive. We wouldn't want too many of those things around. Show me some moons. I like moons.
I wouldn't be so quick to judge, ma'am. Comets don't always look like this. They change their appearance most dramatically when they are near the sun. You see, ma'am, most comets follow great looping orbits through the solar system. When they pass close to the sun, the heat warms up their ice. The ice melts, releasing gas and dust particles that envelop the comet and stream into space away from the sun. This forms what is known as the coma and tail.
Ew, pretty.
Ah, that's amazing.
Yes, sir. A comet's tail often grows to be millions of miles long.
Wow.
Ooh, you mean that beautiful thing comes from nothing more than a big dirty snowball?
Precisely, ma'am.
I'll take 2.
Well, I guess the comets are okay, but I can't really see taking a vacation on one. What we're really looking for are planets.
We want planets.
Absolutely. As you can see, the planets in this solar system come in 3 basic varieties: gas giants, rocky midgets, and dwarf planets. The rocky midget planets are all located in the inner part of the solar system, close to the sun. And the gas giants orbit much farther out from the sun in the outer solar system.
But what are all those little planets doing out there past the gas giants? Aren't they rocky midgets too?
No, ma'am, not really. They're far too small, much smaller than the rocky midgets. That's why they're called dwarf planets. A classic example of one of these dwarf planets is the little ice world not far from here called Pluto. It would be my pleasure to show it to you. One thing you'll notice about Pluto is that its orbit is quite different from those of the other planets in this solar system. Not only is the orbit tilted, but it is also very egg-shaped.
Can we land on it and explore?
Of course we can.
There's not much to look at, is there? There's not even a place to play.
I want to play.
And there's not even a single shopping mall in sight.
Hey, that's a mighty big moon for a dwarf planet to have orbiting it.
Ah, I see you've spotted Charon. Yes, it is quite a large moon in comparison to its parent world. In fact, Charon is about 1/3 the size of Pluto itself. It may interest you to know that Pluto has other small moons, like Nix and Hydra.
We want moons.
Yes, the moons are interesting, but it's a bit cold and dark here. What does it look like in the daytime?
Well, ma'am, I'm afraid this is the daytime. This is as bright as it ever gets on Pluto. The sun is that bright star you see far away near the horizon. It's so cold here that what you call snow is actually Pluto's atmosphere lying frozen on the ground.
Well, this place will never do. It's just too cold. Besides, a dwarf planet? What would the neighbors say? Can we see some real planets now?
Of course. Now then, this lovely planet you see before you is Neptune. Beautiful, isn't it? It has over a dozen small moons and a very faint set of rings. One of its moons is even bigger than Pluto.
Certainly more interesting than that Pluto. Grr. Well, let's land and take a look around.
I'm afraid that is quite impossible, sir. You see, gas giant planets have no solid surface and, therefore, no place to land.
Dad, gas giant, remember?
The pressures in the atmosphere are so great that if we went very deep into it, the pressure would crush our ship.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a place I'd want to visit. Do you have anything else? Perhaps something a little closer to the sun?
Certainly, ma'am. Coming up next is the planet Uranus. It is similar to Neptune in size, and it's made of many of the same things, but it is considerably closer to the sun. As you can see, Uranus also features an attractive set of small rings and over 24 moons.
Hey, is Uranus lying on its side?
It's falling over.
Ah, I can see you have a keen eye for detail. Yes, Uranus does lie on its side as it orbits the sun. Because Uranus lies on its side, the seasons on this planet can be quite long. At the right times, the sun doesn't set on the north or south poles for over 40 years.
Good heavens! How do they get any sleep there?
Whoa, that moon looks really strange.
It's called Miranda, miss. Part of its unusual appearance is due to the fact that its surface has been broken up. Would you like to fly down one of its ice cliffs?
Ice cliffs? That sounds so fun. Can we, Mom? Please, please, please.
Well, now, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't.
Don't do that again. Ever.
Right you are, sir. Let's move on to the next planet, shall we?
Oh, I'm speechless. It's elegant.
It's really cool.
It's pretty.
Quite so, miss. This is Saturn.
Look at those rings. What are they?
I suspected that you would approve of them, miss. Allow me to show you. The rings of Saturn are made of countless small pieces of ice, dust, and rock, all orbiting around Saturn like tiny moons.
You mean the rings are actually a lot of little moons?
In a manner of speaking, ma'am, yes.
How cute!
Bear in mind that the ring particles are extremely small. They range in size from tiny bits of dust to rock-sized pebbles and boulders. Although Saturn's rings are very large, measuring hundreds of thousands of miles in diameter, they're also exceptionally thin. They are less than the length of a football field from top to bottom.
You mean all those beautiful rings are only made up of little pieces of ice and dust and rocks? That's amazing!
But doesn't Saturn have any real moons?
Over 60 that we know of, miss. Most of them are quite small, and they are airless, icy places. For example, this is Enceladus. As you can see, those are geysers erupting from the huge cracks on its surface. However, Saturn's largest moon, Titan, is as big as a planet. Perhaps a brief visit to it would be of interest to you. Titan has a thick, extremely cold atmosphere. In fact, Titan is the only moon in this solar system with an atmosphere. Beneath Titan's thick layer of clouds is a frozen surface with ice volcanoes and methane lakes.
Yes, the rings and the moons are great, but tell us more about the planet.
Absolutely, sir. If you enjoy cool breezes, then you'll certainly be delighted with Saturn. Its winds blow more than 3 times faster than a hurricane, and it's as cold there as it was on Titan.
I hate to say it. Saturn's rings are cool and all, but it's so windy and it's still too cold.
That's true. Don't you have something a little more colorful and maybe a little closer to the sun? I was looking forward to some time on the beach, you know.
I understand your concern. I'm sure that the next planet, Jupiter, will suit your needs perfectly.
Does it have any moons?
Moons, moons.
Of course, ma'am. Jupiter has over 60 moons. Since we still have a ways to go before arriving at the planet itself, allow me to show you some of its more interesting moons along the way. This is Callisto. Callisto is entirely covered with craters, which tells us that its surface is very old. Now look at the surface of Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede. While some parts of Ganymede are also covered with craters, other parts have a grooved, icy crust with very few craters. It's the largest moon in this solar system. This is Europa. Europa is a moon that is as smooth as a billiard ball. Notice that Europa has very few craters or mountains.
Maybe so, but it's certainly covered with a lot of cracks.
Those are fractures in the ice that have filled up with water from an ocean lying deep beneath the surface. As soon as the water reached the moon's surface, it froze.
Whoa, how weird is that?
Weird indeed, miss. However, if you enjoy the truly unusual, then I think this next moon will be of even greater interest to you. This is Io.
Look at those bizarre colors and those huge holes in the surface. They don't look like the craters we've seen so far.
Precisely, sir. They are not craters. They are, in fact, active volcanoes. Io is covered with them.
But why are there so many volcanoes?
An excellent question, ma'am. Io is caught in a gravitational tug-of-war between Jupiter and the other moons. This heats up its interior, causing the moon to erupt with hundreds of active volcanoes. The surface features on Io are changing faster than on any other planet or moon in this solar system.
It's big.
It's huge.
It's even bigger than Saturn.
Correct you are, miss. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. In fact, Jupiter is so large that if it were hollow, all the other planets in the solar system would fit comfortably inside it.
Hey, what's that big red thing down there? Is that some kind of defect?
No, sir. It's a feature. It's called the Great Red Spot. Lovely, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's certainly pretty, but what is it?
It is an enormous hurricane in the atmosphere of Jupiter, ma'am. The Great Red Spot is so large that you could put all the rocky midget planets inside it with room to spare.
You're saying it's an enormous storm? How long will it last?
I am confident, sir, that the Great Red Spot will be around for quite a while longer. It has been observed for at least 400 years already, and it has almost certainly been there for thousands of years.
Well, vacationing in a hurricane doesn't sound like much fun to me.
Some people find them quite relaxing. As long as we are this close to the planet, permit me to call your attention to Jupiter's northern pole. Those are aurorae, or if you prefer, northern lights. And below us, to your right, you can see lightning in Jupiter's cloud tops. Could you ask for a lovelier, more fascinating world?
I think I'd like to sit down there, walk around a bit, just to get the feel of the place.
I'm so sorry, but as I said before, gas giant planets don't have solid surfaces. Therefore, there can be no such thing as landing on Jupiter.
But how do you know for sure? Can't we take a look for ourselves?
Well, I could take you a small distance into Jupiter's atmosphere. That would relieve you of any misconceptions you might have.
Fair enough. Let's go.
Clouds of Jupiter.
Righto. Tighten up your seatbelts, please. Now then, as I mentioned before, Jupiter is mostly made of gas. Here in the upper cloud tops, the temperature is far below zero, and the winds are blowing almost as fast as the winds on Saturn.
Yeah, what was that?
Whee! It tickles.
That's the lightning I was telling you about. Now, as we descend, the temperature and pressure increase dramatically. The pressure and temperature surrounding us will continue to increase rapidly as we descend. There is no solid ground beneath us whatsoever.
Down.
What's happening here?
The automatic safety programs have stopped our descent and are taking us back into space. If we had stayed there any longer or attempted to go any deeper, the pressure outside would have crushed us flat.
I see what you mean. You really can't land on a gas giant.
Well, I really don't like it here.
Yeah, too scary.
Well, I don't care much for gas giants either. They're way too dangerous.
Very astute of you, sir.
Okay, we've seen the 4 gas giant planets, but what about the other 4 planets? What were they called again?
Rocky midgets, sir. Smaller planets with solid surfaces. They're much smaller than the gas giants and much closer to the Sun. These planets are known as Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Since we are closest to Mars, I recommend we look at it first.
What is that? Is that one of the rocky midgets?
My apologies, ma'am. I neglected to mention the asteroids, most of which orbit the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. A few of the asteroids are quite large, but most are small and made up of various rocks and metals.
What a cute little planet.
Yes, miss, quite so. Mars may be small, but it possesses a variety of remarkable sceneries. Those cone-shaped mountains below us, for example, are, in fact, volcanoes. The largest one over there is called Olympus Mons, and it is taller than any other mountain in the solar system. Now, this canyon here is called the Miranda Valley. It is the largest and deepest canyon in this solar system. And below us, to your left, are ancient riverbeds.
Well, where'd all the water go?
An excellent question, miss. Today, the atmosphere on Mars is so thin that liquid water cannot exist on its surface. Mars does have some thin clouds and polar ice caps, but there is no liquid water on its surface. Most of the water that was once here is now frozen underground.
I think it's charming. Can we land and have a closer look?
Certainly, ma'am. I am initiating our descent right now.
So, this is Mars, is it? Why does everything look so rusty?
So dirty. Yuck.
How very observant you are. Rust is, in fact, an accurate description for what you see. A great deal of Mars is rust.
What an unusual sky. It's pink.
Yes, ma'am, that is due to the dust. Powerful winds, some reaching speeds of over 60 miles per hour, are constantly blowing dust high into the air, giving the sky a pink color.
Dad, please don't tell me you're gonna make us stay here. It's a cold and rusty desert planet. We've gotta be able to do better than this.
Yeah, better than this.
Okay, we'll keep looking.
I thought it was a lovely little world. But doesn't it have any moons? All the other planets had moons.
Yes, ma'am, Mars does, in fact, have two small moons. Their names are Phobos and Deimos. However, they are each quite small.
I was hoping for some place with a real moon.
Certainly, ma'am.
Whoa, hold on a minute. Isn't that the next planet? Which one is that?
That planet? Oh, you mean Earth. Oh no, you wouldn't be interested in Earth. Allow me to show you the next planet on our journey inward. It is considerably larger than Mars, it is nice and warm, and it possesses a thick atmosphere.
I don't know about this one. It looks awfully cloudy to me.
This is Venus, and it is indeed completely covered with clouds. These clouds are actually made of droplets of sulfuric acid.
Well, that can't be good for the complexion. Oh, whew. It's getting hot in here.
Yes, ma'am, that is to be expected. Venus is the hottest planet in this solar system. The planet's thick atmosphere traps energy from the sun. Day side or night side, pole or equator, everywhere on Venus is twice as hot as an oven.
But what about moons? Does it have any?
I am sorry, ma'am, but Venus, as lovely as it is, has no moons.
Now what?
The extremes of temperature and pressure are presenting something of a problem, sir. I think it would be wise for us to depart.
Yes, get us out of here.
Of course, ma'am. And here is our next rocky midget. Mercury is the planet closest to the Sun itself, and the smallest planet in this solar system.
I don't know. It looks pretty beat up to me. What happened to it?
It's a mess.
Yes, miss. The surface of Mercury is rather heavily cratered. That large feature below us is called the Calorus Basin. It's the impact site of a huge asteroid that collided with Mercury a long time ago. Early in the history of this solar system, Mercury was hit by a lot of asteroids left over from the formation of the Sun and the planets.
Look at the size of that cliff. It's really big.
It must be pretty hot down there, being this close to the sun.
Yes, sir, but only on the daytime side. At this distance from the Sun, daytime temperatures are more than 400 degrees. However, because Mercury has no atmosphere to hold in its heat, the temperature at night falls to almost 200 degrees below zero.
Well, there is such a thing as too much sun. And I still don't see any moons.
No, ma'am. Mercury, like Venus, has no moons. These are the only two planets in the solar system that have no moons. Now then, we are approaching the central star of this solar system, the Sun. Excuse me a moment while I engage the radiation and glare screens. The Sun is a medium-sized yellow dwarf star. There are many stars in the galaxy larger than the Sun, and many more stars that are smaller. The Sun's energy is generated at its core, which takes about 1 million years to reach its surface.
It's got spots on it.
Spots.
Indeed it does, miss. And as you might imagine, they are known as sunspots. Even though they are cooler than the rest of the Sun, they are still hot enough to vaporize our spaceship. In fact, this is as close as we dare approach this star.
How odd. Look at those giant streamers. What are they?
The streamers of solar material you see are called prominences and flares. Each one is much larger than any of the planets.
Say, we've only seen 7 planets so far. We skipped that little blue one back there. You know, the third planet from the sun. What did you say it was called?
Oh, you mean Earth?
Well, let's go take a look at that one.
Oh, no, you wouldn't be interested in Earth. Shouldn't we be getting back now?
But it looked like it had a moon.
Well, yes, ma'am. Earth does have a moon.
Well?
I suppose we could get closer for a quick inspection if you insist. As you can see, this moon is a barren, dusty place. Because there is no atmosphere, where the sun shines, it gets as hot as an oven. But in the shade, the temperature is nearly 200 degrees below zero. The surface of this moon, like that of Mercury, is heavily cratered. It also has mountains and plains and lava flows. Now, regarding the lack of atmosphere on this moon, the point to remember is...
Wow, look at Earth. It's so pretty.
Blue, my favorite color.
It's absolutely beautiful. Look at those colors. I want to see the Earth.
Trust me, the Earth, as pretty as it is, wouldn't suit your needs. However, I could take us in closer.
Right. Let's go.
Now then, tighten up your seatbelts, and I can have us there in no time at all.
It looks kind of nice to me. What's it like?
In a word, ma'am, wet. This planet is mostly covered with water, oceans of it. Water covers over 2/3 of the planet and is thousands of feet deep in many places. The white regions you can see at the poles are ice, and the white clouds that can be found everywhere on the planet are tiny droplets of water.
I'll bet it has some lovely beaches.
At least the land looks nice and safe.
Oh no, miss. The surface of this planet is unstable and frequently shifts due to what the locals call earthquakes. Not only that, there are active volcanoes on nearly every continent, and the continents themselves are constantly moving. This is a highly unstable world.
But we want to stay here.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but it doesn't match your original request.
What are you talking about? What request? This place is perfect.
I'm so sorry. But honestly, you will almost certainly not like it there.
Look, you showed us the comets and the dwarf planets in the outer reaches of this solar system. They were too tiny and too cold. Then you showed us the gas giants. Neptune, which we couldn't land on, and Uranus, which we couldn't land on either. It was also, may I remind you, tipped over on its side. Then you showed us Saturn, which had lovely rings, and Jupiter, which was huge and had fascinating moons. But both of these planets had hurricane winds and nowhere to land. We finally got to land on Mars, but it turned out to be a dusty, frozen desert. And Venus not only has acid in its clouds, but crushing pressures and the hottest surface temperature of any planet in this solar system. As for Mercury, not only didn't it have any air, but it was too hot on the day side and too cold on the night side. Now, we finally come to this beautiful little planet called Earth. It has an atmosphere, plenty of water, and an incredible moon, yet you keep trying to talk us out of it. Why?
I am merely complying with your original instructions, sir.
Instructions? What instructions?
You were very precise, sir. When you first asked me to find you a suitable world on which you could vacation, you said, and I quote, "No neighbors."
Oh yeah, that's right. I did say that, didn't I? Of all the luck. Neighbors. Well, since we're here, we might as well take a look around. Show us the Earth.
All right, then. I will take us down for a closer inspection. But you should know, sir, this planet is teeming with neighbors.
Well, we wouldn't bother them, so they wouldn't bother us, right?
You'd be surprised, ma'am.
Just exactly what kinds of neighbors live here.
Perhaps it would be best if you saw them for yourselves. On this planet, there are millions of different species. Strange, aren't they? Some, called plants, use sunlight for growth and energy. Others, called animals, get their energy by either eating the plants or other animals. Life on this planet comes in a huge variety of shapes, sizes, and behaviors.
Aw, they're so cute.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Oh, honey, that one looks like that old boyfriend you had in school. Remember him?
Ha ha! Very funny.
What are those?
Oh my.
What is that?
That is the dominant life form, sir. There are over 7 billion of them on the planet. They are known as humans.
They're so silly looking.
I just don't think I could be around them without laughing.
I completely understand.
But Dad, what about our vacation?
You're right. Neighbors or not, this is the best place we've seen so far. We might as well give it a try.
Very good, sir. Just remember that I am always available for further consultation.
All right, thanks. We'll take the ship down ourselves.
All right then, sir. Cheerio.
Any ideas on where to land?
Just find us a nice beach and I'll be happy. You know, it's odd. I certainly don't see any neighbors.
Yeah. I thought it was supposed to be crowded around here.
Well, I love it here. Let's stay.
Yeah, stay.
Okay, who wants hamburgers and who wants hot dogs?
Did anyone remember to bring the paper towels?
Oh, I love charcoal. Oh, we forgot the lighting fluid. No, here it is. Never mind. We got it right here. Ah! I knew I was gonna do that. Honey, give me a Band-Aid. Oh, my.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Every day it's rainy, and I've got so much work. My boss is grumpy once again, yelling this weather is absurd. But now I'm gonna break out, I'm gonna give my friends a call. let's fly away into the sun.